The night was quiet. The town of Raven Creek slept under a cold silver moon. Only the sound of wind moved through the trees. But at 2:17 a.m. something broke the silence. A flash of blue light cut through the sky. It wasn't a shooting star. It moved too slow, and then too fast. People who were awake thought it was thunder without sound. Seconds later, the ground shook. Dogs barked. Lights turned on in windows. Something had fallen near the forest. When the morning came, a group of children went to see what had happened. The forest smelled like burnt metal. The air felt heavy, almost alive. Then they saw it, a crater still smoking. At the center stood a small figure. It was a girl, maybe 10 years old. Her skin was pale, her hair white like snow, and her eyes glowed silver like two moons. She didn't cry. She didn't look scared. She just looked around slowly as if searching for someone. Then she spoke in a soft, clear voice. "Are you my daddy?" The children froze. One of them, the oldest boy, tried to ask her name, but she only repeated the question. "Are you my daddy?" Her voice was calm, almost robotic, but her eyes showed sadness. Deep, endless sadness. When adults came, they took her to the local police station. No one knew who she was. No missing child matched her face. She didn't remember her name or where she came from. She just kept asking everyone the same question. Inside the police room, she sat quietly. When an officer offered her food, she didn't eat. When they gave her water, she didn't drink. Her skin seemed to shimmer under light. Not like normal skin, but like liquid glass. Then something strange happened. Every electronic device in the station started to flicker. Computers shut down. Radio screamed with static, and the lights began to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat. She looked up and said again, "Are you my daddy?" That was when Agent Lewis from the government arrived. He had been tracking the strange energy signal from space. The girl turned to him as soon as he entered, like she was waiting for him. Lewis asked, "Who are you, sweetheart? Where did you come from?" Her silver eyes blinked slowly. "You promised you'd come back," she whispered. The agent froze. He had never seen her before. But something inside him, a small memory, a feeling, it made his heart ache. For a second, he felt like he had known her his whole life. Then she reached out and touched his hand. Her fingers were warm, soft. But in that instant, his mind exploded with visions. He saw stars, galaxies, a huge dark ship moving through space, and a voice, a woman's voice, crying for help. Then it was gone. Agent Lewis fell back, gasping. The girl tilted her head, almost curious. "You're not him," she said quietly. "But you carry his memory." No one understood what she meant. Doctors came, scientists came, even priests. Everyone wanted to know what she was. She let them test her blood. It was human, but only partly. Half of it was something else. Something not from Earth. News spread fast. The media called her the Star Child. People believed she was a government experiment or maybe an alien invasion. But she stayed calm through everything, asking only one question. "Are you my daddy?" At night, when she was alone, she would look at the moon and hum a song no one knew. The same blue light that brought her here glowed faintly under her skin. Sometimes she would whisper to herself, "He will come. He promised." One evening, a scientist named Dr. Adrian Holt arrived at the base where she was kept. He had been researching strange signals from deep space. When he saw the girl through the glass, his heart stopped. She looked exactly like someone he once loved, his wife, who disappeared years ago during a space mission. The girl turned her head, and for the first time, she smiled. She placed her hand on the glass and said softly, "Daddy?" Everyone around froze. Dr. Holt couldn't move. He didn't have a daughter. But when she looked at him, his heart felt something he couldn't explain. Warmth, sadness, and a strange connection that went beyond reason. That night, she whispered in her sleep, "He's here." The stars remember him. And somewhere deep in space, something answered, a pulse of blue light moving toward Earth. The girl was now in a high-security research base, far away from any city. The government called her Subject Lyra, though she never said her name. To her, names didn't matter. She cared about only one thing. Every morning when someone entered her room, she asked softly, "Are you my daddy?" At first, the scientists thought it was trauma. Maybe she had lost her family. Maybe she was scared. But soon they realized this was not normal. Every time she asked that question, the air in the room changed. Machines started to glitch. The lights blinked. Even people felt strange emotions, sadness, love, fear, all at once. Dr. Adrian Holt watched her from behind the glass. He couldn't sleep. Her face reminded him too much of his wife, Ilara, who vanished during a deep space mission 5 years ago. The same eyes, the same calmness, but this girl was too young to be real. Lyra sat in the middle of her room, drawing circles on the floor with her finger. The floor was metal, but where she touched, the lines glowed faint blue, like tiny galaxies forming under her hand. "Lyra," Adrian said through the intercom, "do you remember where you came from?" She looked up, eyes shining silver. "From the dark," she said softly. "From the place where voices sleep." "What voices?" he asked. She tilted her head, thinking. "The ones who made me, the ones who told me to find you." Adrian's hands trembled. "Find me? Why?" Lyra smiled sadly. "Because you promised." Her words hit him like a wave. He didn't remember making any promise. But her tone, it was exactly how Ilara used to speak. The same warmth, the same rhythm. He stepped closer to the glass, and Lyra raised her hand slowly, placing it where his was. The moment their palms met through the glass, the temperature in the room dropped. Alarms began to beep. Images flooded Adrian's mind. A spaceship spinning out of control. Ilara screaming his name, a bright light swallowing everything, and then silence. He fell back, breathing hard. Lyra blinked as if she had shared too much. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Your mind is not ready yet." That night, the scientists tried to measure her power. They hooked her up to wires and sensors, but the data made no sense. Her heartbeat was irregular, sometimes human, sometimes not. Her blood contained particles unknown to science. When they placed her near electric devices, they overloaded. One intern made the mistake of touching her skin without gloves. In 1 second, his memories flashed before him. His childhood, his mother's smile, his first heartbreak, and then stars burning in space. He screamed and fainted. When he woke, his hair had turned white. After that, no one dared to go near her. Still, Lyra was not dangerous on purpose. She just didn't understand the limits of human life. She spent hours staring at the stars from her window. Sometimes she spoke softly in a language no one knew, slow, musical, and haunting. The computers in her room tried to record it, but every file got corrupted. When Adrian asked what she was saying, she said, "I'm calling them." "They're listening?" "Who?" he asked, his voice shaking. "My family," she replied. "They live between stars. They taught me one question, to find my father." Adrian didn't know what to say. "And what if you don't find him?" Lyra looked at him for a long time. Then she whispered, "Then the stars will die." Adrian couldn't tell if it was a metaphor or a warning, but he could feel something was coming, something bigger than Earth could handle. A week later, Lyra stopped talking completely. She just sat and hummed a slow melody. The scientists noticed strange signals coming from her, radio waves matching no known pattern. They thought it was random, but Adrian decoded it. The signal wasn't random at all. It was a message repeating over and over, "We are coming. Protect the child." The government panicked. They increased security, fearing alien contact. Some wanted to destroy her. Others wanted to use her as a weapon. But Adrian couldn't look away. He remembered his wife's last transmission before her ship vanished. Her final words had been, "If you ever find her, don't be afraid." Now he understood. Late one night, when everyone was gone, Adrian entered Lyra's room. She was awake, eyes glowing faintly. "Why me?" he asked softly. "Why do you keep asking that question?" Lyra smiled gently. "Because only one man in this world carries her heart, and you are him." Then she touched his chest, right where his heart beat. A surge of blue light surrounded them both, filling the room with warmth and silence. Through that light, Adrian heard a voice, not Lyra's, but Ilara's. "Take care of her. She is part of me." When the light faded, Lyra was asleep. Adrian knelt beside her, whispering, "I promise." But outside the window, deep in the sky, something moved, a cluster of stars blinking in perfect rhythm. Like eyes watching Earth, and far above, beyond the clouds, a soft voice whispered through the void, "Are you my daddy?" The morning after the blue light incident, Dr. Adrian Holt sat alone in the control room. His hands trembled slightly as he replayed the footage from last night. In the video, he saw himself and the girl, Lyra, surrounded by glowing light. The sound was gone, but her voice still echoed in his mind. She is part of me. He couldn't explain it. He didn't understand how a strange girl who fell from the sky could know things that only his wife Alara had known. Alara had vanished during a deep space exploration mission 5 years ago. Her ship, the Horizon Dawn, disappeared near a wormhole. Everyone assumed she was dead. Adrian never believed it. Now this girl had appeared, same eyes, same calm smile, same song. It couldn't be a coincidence. That morning, Adrian went to Lyra's room again. She was drawing on the glass wall with her finger. Tiny lines of light formed galaxies in spiral shapes. It looked like a map of the stars, Lyra, Adrian said softly. Do you remember my wife? She turned her head slowly. The woman of light, she whispered. She sang to me before I was born. Adrian froze. Before you were born? Yes, Lyra said. In the dark place. She told me stories of oceans, rain, and love. She said I would find her heart again. Adrian stepped closer. What is the dark place, Lyra? Where did she go? Lyra's silver eyes shimmered like liquid. She went beyond the door of time. The ones who live among stars found her there. They wanted to understand what love means. So they made me. Her words made his heart race. They made you. From her? Lyra nodded. From her blood, her memories, and her last wish. Adrian's mind spun. If she was telling the truth, it meant the aliens had somehow captured Alara's DNA and used it to create this being. Half human, half something else. But one question burned inside him. Why me, Lyra? Why were you sent to me? She looked at him sadly. Because you're the promise she left behind. Later that day, Adrian went to the research archives. He demanded access to the Horizon Dawn's final mission logs. The officials refused. They said the files were classified, but Adrian didn't stop. Late at night, he hacked into the restricted database. The screen filled with encrypted files, all marked top secret. One file caught his eye, Project Lyra. His blood went cold. When he opened it, the first image he saw was his wife. She was sitting inside her spaceship, smiling, holding a small capsule that glowed blue. The recording started to play. Adrian, Alara's voice said softly, if you're hearing this, I didn't make it back. But they found me. The ones beyond the stars. They're not monsters. They're curious. They asked me what love is, and I told them it's what connects two souls beyond death. I gave them something, a part of me, so that one day you would not be alone. The video shook slightly as the ship trembled. They promised me, she will find you. Protect her. She will ask you a question. Don't be afraid to answer. The screen turned black. Adrian sat frozen. His chest felt heavy. His eyes burned with tears he didn't know he still had. Lyra, he whispered. You're her gift. When he returned to Lyra's room, she was standing by the window staring at the stars. She didn't turn when he entered. They're coming, she said quietly. Who? Adrian asked, heart pounding. The ones who made me. They're looking for me. They think humans will hurt me. Will they attack Earth? She shook her head. Not yet. They're waiting. They want to know if humans can love what they don't understand. Adrian walked closer. Then they'll see. Because I do understand, Lyra turned to him. Do you really? Yes, he said firmly. You're not a monster. You're my daughter. For a second, her face softened. A tear glowing like starlight rolled down her cheek. Then suddenly the alarm screamed. The monitor showed strange signals from space. Dozens of ships entering the solar system. Adrian looked up. Lyra's eyes glowed brighter. They are here, she whispered. And they are afraid. Outside the base, thunder rumbled through the sky was clear. Every radio, every satellite, every screen showed one same message, transmitted from deep space in hundreds of languages. We seek our child. Do not harm her. The entire world went silent. Lyra took Adrian's hand and said softly, Now you must remember what love means, Daddy. Her voice was calm, but her eyes showed fear for the first time. Because far above Earth, the stars had begun to move. The world changed the day the sky spoke. Satellites around Earth picked up a strange signal coming from deep space. It wasn't noise. It was a message, repeated in thousands of human languages. We seek our child. Do not harm her. Governments panicked. Military jets filled the air. News channels screamed about invasion. And in the middle of all this chaos, Lyra sat quietly in her glass room, her small hands pressed against the window, staring at the stars. Dr. Adrian Holt entered slowly. He was exhausted, his eyes red, his mind spinning between fear and wonder. "Lyra," he said softly, "they're coming for you, aren't they?" She nodded without turning. "They're close. They can hear us now." Adrian's heart pounded. "What will they do when they arrive?" Lyra finally turned to face him. Her eyes shimmered silver, brighter than before. "That depends on you," she said. "On what humans choose to be," he frowned. "What do you mean?" Lyra walked closer, her voice soft but steady. "They don't understand love. They don't understand kindness. They only understand logic. But my mother told them love is stronger than power. They want to see if that's true." Adrian swallowed hard. "Your mother?" "Ilara," Lyra nodded. "Her memories live inside me. When she died, they caught her last thought, you." Adrian felt a sting in his chest. The girl standing before him wasn't just a child. She was a living memory, a piece of his wife, shaped by beings who could bend time and matter. Outside, soldiers moved through the halls. Alarms kept echoing. The base commander had received orders to move Lyra to a secret underground vault. They didn't trust her anymore. Her energy readings were rising every hour. When they tried to enter her room, the air began to hum. The lights flickered. Metal doors vibrated like strings of a giant instrument. Lyra looked at the soldiers calmly. "Please," she said, "don't touch me." One soldier ignored her and grabbed her arm. A blinding flash filled the room. The man screamed and fell to the floor, his body shaking. When he opened his eyes, he whispered in terror, "I saw everything. The stars are alive." Lyra backed away, tears glowing on her cheeks. "I didn't mean to hurt him," she whispered. Adrian rushed forward and held her shoulders. "It's okay. You didn't hurt him on purpose." But deep down he knew she was losing control. That night, Adrian found something strange in the data from Lyra's sensors. Her energy wasn't random. It pulsed in a pattern, a heartbeat that matched the incoming alien signals. Every time the message repeated in space, Lyra's heart responded. She wasn't just hearing them. She was connected to them. He looked at the monitors, then at her sleeping form inside the observation chamber. "You're the key," he whispered. "You're the bridge between worlds." Suddenly, the computers beeped again. A new transmission arrived. This one encoded not for the world, but directly for him. It carried his name, Adrian Holt. He opened it. A female voice filled the room, soft and distant. It was Ilara's voice. "Adrian, if you are hearing this, they've found her. Lyra is our legacy. She carries both our worlds within her, but her core is unstable. If humans harm her, she will break, and her energy will burn your planet. You must help her find balance. She is not a weapon. She is a message, and of love." The message ended. Adrian sat frozen. His wife's voice still echoed in his head. "Not a weapon," he whispered. "Then why does everyone see her as one?" The next day, the government decided to transfer Lyra to a high-security lab. Adrian begged them to stop. "She's not dangerous," he shouted. "She's scared." No one listened. As the convoy prepared to move her, the sky turned dark. Not from clouds, but from light. Thousands of glowing shapes appeared above the atmosphere. They weren't ships in the human sense. They looked like giant wings of silver energy, folding and unfolding in perfect rhythm. The entire world watched. Lyra looked up, smiling faintly. "They're here," she whispered. The soldiers pointed their weapons, trembling. "What do we do?" Adrian shouted, "Don't fire!" But the commander didn't listen. He gave the order. Missiles launched into the air, blazing trails toward the lights. For a second, everything went white. Then, silence. The missiles vanished, not exploded, not destroyed, just gone. The sky turned blue again, but something new appeared in the clouds, a massive circular symbol, glowing like a halo. It pulsed once, and every device on Earth received a single sentence in perfect synchronization. "Love is not a weakness. It is the code of creation." Adrian looked at Lyra. Her eyes were full of tears. "They're speaking through me," she said. "They're asking for peace," but her body began to shake. Blue energy surrounded her again, brighter than before. The machine screamed as her pulse skyrocketed. "Adrian," she whispered weakly, "if I lose control, they'll think love failed." And before he could answer, a shock wave of light burst from her, spreading across the base, cutting the power and leaving the entire world in silence. The world went dark for almost an hour after the blue explosion. No lights, no internet, no sound. Only silence, and heavy and endless. When power finally returned, the base was in ruins. Walls cracked. Screens shattered. And in the middle of the chaos, Dr. Adrian Holt woke up with ringing ears and blurry eyes. He looked around. The soldiers were unconscious but alive. The machines sparked weakly. And Lyra, she was gone. "Lyra!" he shouted, pushing through smoke and broken metal. Then he saw her, lying near the window, surrounded by a soft blue glow. Her breathing was slow, weak but steady. Her skin flickered like fading starlight. Adrian ran to her, held her small hand. "Stay with me," he whispered. "Don't leave." Lyra's eyes opened, glowing faintly. "They hurt us," she whispered. "But they're afraid. They don't trust humans anymore." Her voice was soft, almost fading into the hum of distant alarms. Adrian pressed his forehead against her hand. "We can fix this." "Tell me what to do." Lyra smiled weakly. "You can't fix what you don't remember." That sentence stuck in his mind. What you don't remember. Later, while others evacuated, Adrian went back to the control room. Most systems were dead, but one old console still worked. A backup link to Project Lyra files. As he searched through hidden data, a file popped up, blinking red. Memory sequence. Restricted. He opened it. The screen filled with distorted images. Alara's face, her ship, alien landscapes made of light. Then a voice recording played. It was her again. "They told me memories are powerful. They can build or destroy. If you're watching this, Adrian, then you've already met her. Lyra is more than DNA. She carries a fragment of my mind. And of yours." Adrian's heart stopped. "Of mine?" he whispered. "Before my mission, the company made a copy of our neural patterns. They said it was for research. I didn't know they'd send mine into the wormhole. But they did, and the aliens found it. They tried to rebuild love using what they understood from us. That's how Lyra exists. Half of me, half of you, and something greater." The video flickered. "She's our daughter, Adrian. Not by birth, but by creation. Protect her or everything ends." The file ended. Adrian sat in silence, staring at the screen. His breath came out slow and shaky. The truth was too much. Lyra wasn't just connected to him. She was literally part of him. His love, his memories, his soul. All woven into her being. Outside news channels were going insane. Alien ships had surrounded Earth but didn't attack. They simply waited, silent, glowing in orbit like 1,000 silver moons. Some said they wanted peace. Others said they were waiting for revenge. Meanwhile, Adrian returned to Lyra. She sat up weakly, still glowing faintly. "Lyra," he said gently, "I know now. You're our child. You carry both of us." Lyra looked at him quietly. "You remembered," she said. "Then maybe there's hope." Adrian nodded. "Tell me what they want. Why are they here?" Lyra's eyes turned brighter, reflecting shapes of stars. "They don't want war. They want balance. But they fear humans can't love without control. They think love makes chaos," he frowned. "They're wrong. They don't know that yet," she replied. "They only understand logic. But you can show them. Through me." Adrian reached for her hand. "Then let's show them together." For the first time, she smiled like a normal child. That's what Mother said. Love is proof that chaos can be beautiful. That night, Adrian worked nonstop. Using fragments of Alara's data and Lyra's energy readings, he built a small transmitter, a device to send emotional waves, not just signals. It was risky. It used Lyra's core energy. If it failed, she could die. When he explained this, Lyra only said, "If my heart can save 2 worlds, it's worth it." He hesitated. "You're just a child," she smiled sadly. "So was your love when it began." The word struck deep. Adrian activated the device. Blue light filled the room. Lyra closed her eyes, focusing. Her energy pulsed with the rhythm of a heartbeat, one that matched Adrian's. Together they sent the message. A wave of warmth spread across the sky, reaching the alien fleet. For the first time, the ships changed formation, not in attack but in response. Their lights turned golden, flickering like stars breathing in harmony. Then silence. The message had been received. Lyra collapsed into Adrian's arms, weak but smiling. "They heard us," she whispered. "They're listening now." Adrian held her tightly. Rest, Lyra, you did it. She looked up at him one last time before her eyes dimmed. Promise me something, Daddy. Anything. When they come, don't let them forget what love feels like. And with that, she closed her eyes, her light fading into gentle calm. Outside, the alien fleet began to move again, not toward Earth, but around it, forming a glowing ring that covered the planet in soft light. And from deep within the stars, a whisper echoed across the universe. The experiment has begun. The world was no longer the same. The alien fleet surrounded Earth like a silver crown. Cities were silent. People watched the glowing shapes above the sky every night, wondering if this was the end, or a beginning. Inside a hidden underground lab, Dr. Adrian Holt stood beside Lyra's sleeping body. She looked peaceful now, but her light had faded. The readings on the monitors were unstable, her life force flickering like a dying star. She's breaking down, whispered one of the scientists. Adrian clenched his fists. Then help her. She's not a weapon, she's a child. The commander of the facility, General Huxley, stepped forward. His cold eyes scanned the data. She's not a child, Doctor. She's an energy source. The aliens built her from something we can't understand. If we control her, we control them. Adrian stared at him. Control them? They didn't come to fight. Maybe not yet, Huxley replied. But they will. And when they do, this, he pointed to Lyra, will be our only defense. Adrian's voice broke. You'll kill her, the general shrugged. For humanity's survival, one life is a small price. That night, Adrian couldn't sleep. He sat beside Lyra, holding her fragile hand. Her pulse was faint, but her expression calm, almost smiling. Suddenly, her fingers twitched. Her voice, weak but clear, broke the silence. Daddy. Adrian leaned closer. I'm here, Lyra. Her eyes flickered open, silver and tired. They're calling me, but I can't answer. My energy is broken. He squeezed her hand gently. We'll fix it. I'll find a way. She shook her head. They're scared, Daddy. They think humans want to destroy what they don't understand. He sighed, tears gathering in his eyes. They're wrong. I'll make them see. Lyra smiled faintly. Then you must choose them or me. Her words cut like a blade. In the morning, soldiers entered with new orders. They were going to extract the core energy from Lyra's body. If successful, they could weaponize her power, enough to wipe out the alien fleet. Adrian stepped in front of them. You can't do this. Huxley glared. Move, Doctor. This isn't your decision anymore, but Adrian didn't move. His heart pounded. She's not a machine. She's my daughter. Your daughter, Huxley scoffed. She's not even human. Adrian met his eyes coldly. Neither is love, but we still believe in it. The soldiers raised their guns. For a second, no one breathed. Then, before they could act, the ground began to shake. A voice echoed through the entire base, not through speakers, but inside their minds. It was soft, endless, and full of sorrow. Stop, you are hurting what we gave you. The air shimmered. The walls vibrated. The lights turned blue. Outside, the alien ships started to descend, their glowing forms covering the sky. People screamed. Missiles were armed again. Inside the lab, Lyra's body began to float above the bed, wrapped in radiant light. Her voice echoed, layered with many others, human and alien at once. Please, don't make me choose. Adrian looked up at her, tears in his eyes. Lyra, you have to stay with me. She smiled sadly. I can't, they need me. But if I go, I'll take my power with me, and Earth will be safe. Adrian shook his head violently. No, there must be another way. She reached toward him. There isn't. I was made to connect worlds, not destroy them. He took her hand. Then let me come with you. Lyra's eyes softened. You can't, you belong here and to them. You have to teach them what I learned. The soldiers watched in awe as her light grew brighter, filling every corner of the lab. Huxley shouted orders, but no one could move. The brightness became too strong to look at. Adrian's voice trembled. Lyra, please, she smiled. Thank you for remembering who you were. Then, in one final burst, her light exploded outward, silent, warm, and infinite. When it faded, Lyra was gone. The alien ships vanished from orbit. The sky cleared. The air grew calm again. Adrian fell to his knees, sobbing quietly. On the floor where she had been, a small glowing crystal remained, pulsing faintly, like a heartbeat. He picked it up. Inside the crystal, he heard her voice one last time. Don't let them forget what love feels like. Days later, the governments called off their weapons projects. The alien fleet never returned. Earth survived, not by war but by choice, and Adrian, now a man forever changed, built a small observatory near the sea. Every night he placed the crystal by the window and whispered, "Good night, Lyra." Far above, among the stars, a soft pulse of light always answered. Years passed. The war that never happened became legend. The alien fleet never returned, and Earth slowly healed from its fear. People forgot the panic, the lights in the sky, the girl who came from the stars. But Dr. Adrian Holt never forgot. He lived alone now, in a small wooden house by the ocean. His beard had turned white, his back slightly bent, but his eyes, still searching the sky, never lost their light. Every night he sat on his porch with a small glass crystal glowing faintly in his hand. The same crystal that Lyra left behind. It pulsed softly like a tiny heartbeat. When the waves were calm and the wind was gentle, he could almost hear her voice. Don't let them forget what love feels like. Adrian had built an observatory beside his house. It wasn't large or high-tech, just a telescope, a few notebooks, and a window that opened to the stars. He wrote down what he saw every night. Star patterns changing, faint signals across the sky. He never stopped hoping. Some nights, when the sky was clear, he whispered, "Are you still out there, Lyra?" No answer ever came, only the quiet sound of the sea. Still, he smiled and said softly, "Good night, my little star." One evening, everything changed. It was a silent night. The horizon shimmered faintly, not with light from ships, but something softer, like moonlight breathing. The air became warm. The waves stopped moving. Then a faint blue glow appeared on the sand near the water. Adrian stood up, his heart racing. The glow grew brighter, forming a shape. Small, human, delicate. A girl stepped out of the light. She looked no older than 12. Her hair silver white, her eyes glowing softly, and a faint smile on her face. She wore a simple white dress, the fabric moving gently in the sea breeze. Adrian froze. His old heart trembled. "Lyra?" he whispered. The girl tilted her head, and exactly like Lyra used to. "Daddy?" He couldn't breathe. It's you." She stepped closer, her feet barely leaving marks on the sand. "You waited for me." He laughed softly, tears falling. "Of course I did. I never stopped." She reached out and touched his hand. The same warmth, the same energy ran through him, but something was different this time. Her glow wasn't unstable or wild. It was calm, balanced, like she finally belonged. They sat together on the beach watching the stars. The ocean shimmered with faint blue light as if reflecting her presence. Adrian asked gently, "Where did you go?" Lyra looked up at the sky. "Far beyond the dark," she said. "I found them, the ones who made me. They learned what you tried to teach. They understand now." He smiled faintly. "And what did they understand?" "That love isn't chaos," she said softly. "It's creation." She turned to him. "Because of you, Daddy?" He squeezed her hand gently. "Because of us," Lyra nodded. The stars are singing again. The silence is gone. For a while they just sat there. An old man and a glowing child side by side under the infinite sky. The ocean whispered, and the stars blinked like tiny hearts. After a long silence, Adrian said, "Lyra, I'm old now. I won't be here much longer." Lyra looked at him quietly. "I know, but you'll never really leave. Part of you lives in me, always." He smiled, tired but peaceful. "Then promise me something." "What?" she asked. "When they ask you again, when others look at you and don't understand, tell them the truth." Lyra tilted her head. "The truth?" He nodded. "That love is not human. It's universal." Her eyes shimmered brighter. "I will." Adrian leaned back, looking at the stars. His breathing slowed, gentle as the sea. "You finally came home," he whispered. Lyra smiled. "Home is where you are." The wind grew softer. The crystal in his pocket began to glow brighter, pulsing faster as if echoing his heartbeat. And then, it stopped. Adrian's eyes closed, his face calm. A faint smile rested on his lips. Lyra held his hand for a long time, her tears glowing like stardust as they fell into the sand. Finally, she stood up. The light around her grew stronger. She whispered, "Good night, Daddy." The wind carried her voice through the night, and the stars above shimmered in response. By morning, The beach was empty. Only Adrian's chair remained, facing the ocean. On it lay the glowing crystal, now brighter than ever, pulsing with 2 heartbeats instead of 1. And if you listened closely, really closely, you could still hear a faint voice carried by the sea breeze. Soft, endless, and full of love. "Are you my daddy?" And this time the stars themselves seemed to answer, "Yes, little one, always."